Hi students, today we're going to talk about some fun topics. We're going to continue talking about food and we're going to continue talking about nouns, so a little grammar today as well. I hope you all are very well. I miss you. I wish we could be in class together, but that is not life right now, but hopefully soon maybe we can be in class together again. So today we're going to start with talking about fruit, right? Because we talked about vegetables before, so now we're going to talk about fruit. And look at all these fruits, they're so cute. So let's practice repeating this question. What fruit is this? What fruit is this? Repeat. So do you know what fruit this is? This is a strawberry. Woo, it's a strawberry. Strawberries are my favorite fruit. That means I love strawberries. I like them more than any other fruit. So they're very special to me. I like them on dessert too. What fruit is this? This is another favorite of mine. Do you know what fruit this is? Right, this is a melon. Repeat melon. Melon. So there are lots of different kinds of melons. This is a watermelon. Watermelon. Usually we see them in the summertime. What fruit is this? Do you know? Do you think it's a blackberry? Yes, it is. Good job. Repeat blackberry. Blackberry. Usually blackberries are more black. This one's a little red. There's a red berry that looks like a blackberry. It's called a raspberry. But this is supposed to be blackberry. I tell you what, students, I love talking about fruit. What fruit is this? Good. This one should be easy. It's an apple. Repeat apple. Apple. Good work. What fruit is this? Usually we see this fruit next to the ocean. They're in big, tall trees. You can drink the milk from them. I like the taste of them. Some people do not. My husband does not like the taste of them. It is a coconut. Repeat coconut. Good job. Coconut. Yep, a tropical fruit. What fruit is this? Do you know? So if you like to go to Steak and Shake, maybe you see this on your ice cream. It is a cherry. Repeat cherry. Cherry. Great job, students. To the next one. What fruit is this? Do you know? There's yellow and a green kind. Sorry, not yellow. Purple. There's purple and a green kind of this fruit. Grapes. Repeat grapes. Grapes. And so we would call these, I know they are purple. Maybe we would say purple, maybe red. Red grapes and green grapes. What fruit is this? A lot of you probably have this fruit growing in your countries, maybe. Maybe you've seen this. I love them. They're very delicious. Repeat avocado. 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 So I love the Spanish word for avocado is aguacate. It is my favorite Spanish word, aguacate. Such a fun word. What fruit is this? It's got a beautiful, it's kind of ugly on the outside, but inside is very green and pretty. It's a kiwi. Repeat kiwi. Kiwi. What fruit is this? This should be easy, right? It is a banana. Repeat banana. Banana. Good work. What fruit is this? Another tropical fruit? It's a pineapple. Repeat pineapple. Pineapple. Great job. I love pineapples. They're so sweet and delicious. What fruit is this? We talked about it earlier, so you should remember. I told you. Watermelon. Repeat watermelon. Watermelon. You're doing an awesome job. What fruit is this? This fruit actually, it grows here. It's kind of like an apple, a little softer. It's a pear. Repeat pear. Pear. What fruit is this, students? So I know in Spanish it can be confusing, but this is a lemon. Repeat lemon. Lemon. Our lemons are the color yellow, right? What fruit is this? What do you think? I think it's an orange. Good. Repeat orange. Orange. All right, we're finished with fruit today. Good job. So now we're going to move on to a little grammar. Woo, we're going to talk some about nouns. And some of this will be a little review for you. Some is going to be new. Maybe you forgot about it. But we're going to talk about countable and uncountable nouns. Repeat countable. Countable. Repeat uncountable. Repeat noun. So first we're going to start with, can you remember what a noun is? So a noun is a person. Repeat, a person. So it's like Daniel, my husband, or Oscar, or Ashley, person, right? Or President Trump is a person. A place, like a restaurant, or Heartland Community College, those are places. A thing, so remember, a thing is not a person or a place, but a thing is like a desk, or a chair, or a car is a thing. It's not alive like a person. And remember, we also do have animal and idea. So animal like a dog or a cat. And idea is a little more difficult. We've talked about idea before, but kind of like math isn't something we made in our head. It is an idea. It starts as a thought. So some nouns are countable and some nouns are uncountable. So countable means that we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? If I ask, if Yobeda asks me, how many animals do you have? I would say I can count them, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 animals. Okay, so that is when a noun is countable, it means that there's a number. We can we can count and come up with a number of how many there are. I'm trying to think of another example. So if I ask my husband how many trees are in our backyard, he could count them, right? He could say there are 1, 2, 3. There are 3 trees. So that's countable. But there are also nouns that are uncountable, not countable. That's what "un" at the beginning of this word means, not countable. So for example, if you know what sand is, sand on the beach, the yellow stuff, the small, is so small you cannot count, right? Or maybe you see in your kitchen you have sugar or flour. Those are things we can't count because it's so small it'd be very difficult to count. Okay, so there are nouns that are countable and uncountable. So let's talk about countable nouns first. Countable nouns are nouns that we can count. So count is an action word. It means I am trying to find the number of a noun. The number, how many. If there is only one singular noun, we use a or an in front of the noun. So for example, a lemon or an apple. So we've talked about this in class, but remember, we use a when there is a consonant in the first letter of a noun, and we use an when there's a vowel in the first letter of a noun. So remember, our vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. All other letters in the alphabet are consonants. So L is a consonant, so we use a lemon. A is a vowel, so we use an apple. If there is more than one plural noun, we usually add S to the noun. So we add S to the end of the noun. So for example, we have apples, apples, and lemons. So let me repeat. If there is more than one noun, so if we have a plural noun, we usually add S to the noun. So apples, so we have more than one. So in my lunch today, I had 2 apples, right? In my lunch today, I had 1 apple, no S. So if it's 1, we will not add S. If it's more than 1, if it's plural, we will add S. If we want to ask about the quantity, so it's how many, of a countable noun, we use the phrase I just said, how many. So if we want to know the number of a noun when we are counting, we say the phrase how many. So repeat, how many, how many. So for example, how many apples do you want? Okay, so this is telling me I have to come up with a number. How many apples do I want? I want 3 apples. That would be how I could answer that question. Next, we have uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns are nouns we cannot or do not count. Uncountable nouns are nouns we cannot or do not count. They are always in singular form, so we never use a or an with them. they are always in singular form. So they are not, they're never in plural form. So we do not use a or an, like we talked about with the countable nouns. However, we can use quantity words with them. Quantity can tell us how much. So, for example, let's talk about sugar again. So I cannot say, I have 4 sugar, right? I cannot count sugar, but I can say, I have a bag of sugar. I have a cup of sugar. So we can use measurements or bags, different objects that we put food in to describe the quantity. That's how much sugar is in an object. If we want to talk about quantity, we use the phrase how much. So for a countable noun, if we can remember, we use the phrase how many. If we want to talk about quantity for uncountable nouns, we say how much. So how many countable nouns, how much uncountable nouns. So for example, how much sugar do you want in your tea? Another example would be, how much soup do you want to eat? I wouldn't say how many soups, right? It's not plural, no S, how much soup, because I cannot count soup. So soup is like chili or vegetable soup if you do not know soup. I love soup. So this is where things get a little confusing. So if you do not understand this week, that's okay. Do not worry, okay? We will talk about countable and uncountable next week again, okay? So do not worry. Take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. So some nouns, this is just extra information. Some nouns can be countable or uncountable. So there are some nouns that can be countable or uncountable. And so it depends on if we are talking about a specific item or just in general. So for example, let's buy 2 peppers, that we can count that, right? It's specific, but let's buy peppers. We don't know what kind of peppers or how many we want to buy. So it's just kind of in general. So it's uncountable. So now we're going to talk about how to change a singular noun into a plural noun. And we have some rules we need to talk about. Oops, we missed it. So this is something, if you have a piece of paper, now would be a good time to get that piece of paper out and write down what we are going to talk about today with some spelling for plural forms of nouns. So I will give you one second to get out your book if you want to get out your notebook. Now would be a good time. Da dum da dum 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 da 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 dum. Okay, so I hope you have your notebook out. This is a very important chart that you will need to know. It will help you. So here we have some special kinds of nouns on the left. In the middle, we have plural forms. So this is what we're going to add to the word. And we have some examples on the right. So on the left, for most nouns, to make the noun plural or more than one, we are just going to add S at the end of the word. So for example, we have duck, goes to ducks. Repeat, duck, ducks. We have the S at the end. Apple, apples. Apple, apples. Next, we have words that end in X, SS, CH, and SH. So at the end of those words, to make the noun plural, we add ES. So not S, we add ES. Let me repeat. If a word ends in X, SS, CH, or SH, we will add ES to the end to make the word plural. So for example, we have church, it ends in CH. We have churches, ES at the end. So repeat, church, churches. Peach has a CH at the end. Peaches, ES. Next, we have ending in a vowel plus Y. So remember, our vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. So if we have a noun that ends in a vowel, so A, E, I, O, or U, plus Y, we just add S at the end. So for example, we have day goes to days. Toy goes to toys. Let's repeat, day, days. Toy, toys. Now, this is where it gets maybe a little difficult. If we have a word or a noun ending in a consonant, so not A, E, I, O, U, it can be B, C, D, F, G, H, J, all the other letters, plus Y, we are going to get rid of Y, so no more Y, and add IES. So let me repeat that one more time. If we have a word that ends in a consonant plus Y, we get rid of Y, so no more Y, and we add IES. So for example, we just had this word, it's cherry. Repeat, cherry. So to make cherry plural, we get rid of the Y, goodbye Y, and we add IES at the end. For the word lolly, like lollipop, we see we have a consonant L and a Y, so we get rid of Y, goodbye Y, and we add IES. Great job, students. So next, we're going to read the conversation and see if we can correct the mistakes. So there are some mistakes in this conversation. That means something was done wrong. Let's see if we can practice together. So I'm going to read this for you. And then we will find the mistakes together. See if you can find the mistakes by yourself. See if you can do it by yourself. Sorry, if you hear my dog, she is sitting with me, so she is making noises. She's being bad. So, let's start at the beginning. Tom, let's make a sandwich for lunch. How many bread will we need? Lee, 4 slices will be enough. We will need a cheese and 4 tomato. Tom, I like to have ham in my sandwich. Lee, okay, how many ham do you want to put in? All right. So go ahead and work on this for a second by yourself and see if you can find the mistakes, and then we will find them together. I'll read the conversation one more time for you. Tom, let's make a sandwich for lunch. How many bread will we need? Lee, 4 slices will be enough. We will need a cheese and 4 tomato. Tom, I like to have ham in my sandwich. Lee, okay, how many ham do you want to put in? Okay. So, Tom, at the beginning, let's make a sandwich for lunch. How many bread will we need? So a couple ways we could fix this. We could say, how much bread will we need? Because bread, is it countable or uncountable? So bread is uncountable unless we add the word slices. So we could say how much bread or how many slices of bread. So that is a way we could correct that sentence. Excuse me. The next sentence, 4 slices will be enough. So you notice that with the number, now we need to use slices because that's countable. So next, we will need a cheese and 4 tomato. So unfortunately, cheese is not countable unless we use slices again. So either we would say we will need a slice of cheese and 4 tomato. So we'll talk about 4 tomato in a second. That's also incorrect. Or we would say we will need cheese, right? We will need cheese because cheese is uncountable and we cannot use a with an uncountable noun. And then at the end of this sentence, we have and 4 tomato. So tomato, we have 4 of them, right? That is more than one. This word here is singular. We need to make it plural. So how do we make tomato plural? Do you know how to make tomato plural? Do you remember what a tomato is? Because tomato, can you remember what a tomato is? Last week we talked about vegetables, right? Can you remember which one is a tomato? It's the red one. Yes, good job. So it's one maybe you put on a salad. So this is one of our exceptions to our plural rule, which is a problem. But it is good to remember tomatoes. If we want to make the word tomato plural, also potato, we add es at the end. So I know that that maybe is confusing, but just remember that with tomato and potato, we use es at the end. Okay. Next, we have Tom. I like to have ham in my sandwich. I don't see anything wrong with that sentence because we can't count ham. Then we have Lee saying, okay, how many ham do you want to put in? Also, do we remember what ham is? So ham actually comes from a pig. It is usually made at Christmas and holidays, and that is what ham is. At least in the United States, a lot of families here make it. So remember, we can't count ham, and how many is a phrase we use for a countable noun. So we would say, what? Do you remember? We would say how much. How much ham do you want to put in? You could also say how many slices of ham, because that will allow ham to become countable. We're using a phrase that will allow it to be countable. Now we have the second half of this conversation. Tom, 6 slices. Oop, I fixed it myself. 6 slices should be enough. So we have 6, right? A slice is when you cut something very thinly. We've talked about it a couple times now. So like bread is usually sliced when you get it from the grocery store. So we would make 6 slices. We need to add an S to the end. Should be enough. Lee, would you like a onion to eat with the cheese? So what problem do you see in this sentence? We'll do the rest together. Yes, right. We see a onion. It is even difficult for me to say because we have a vowel, so it needs to be an onion. You did a great job with that. Next, we have Tom. No, thank you. But will it take long to make as I am hungry? Excuse me. I don't personally see a problem. He's just saying that he is hungry. And he's saying, no, thank you. He does not want onion. He does not like it. And then Lee says, no, about 5 minutes. So what's the problem with this? Can you think of it? Yes, right. We have 5. It's telling us how many minutes, right? We need an S at the end to make it plural, minutes, because it's more than 1. All right, so now we can see our changes here that we needed to make. I'll give you a second to take a look at these. So you see that tomatoes is ES. We have how much bread. You could say also how many slices of bread, or how much ham, so uncountable. And also cheese is uncountable. So we have 6 slices, so we need to make slices plural. An onion, because we have a vowel here. And 5 minutes, because it's plural. Okay. So students, you did a great job today. I miss you. I hope to see you in class soon. And I mean, not this semester, but maybe in the fall, I hope to see you sometime. But I hope you are all well, and I hope you are safe. And I hope you get outside today because it is so beautiful outside. All right, I will talk to you later.